All right, in this last section, we're going to talk about circles that happen to be in a coordinate plane. So these are, think of a coordinate plane, your XY coordinates, and a circle within that. Now, you know that all circles have a center. Well, the first one we're going to talk about is a circle where the center is at the origin, or 0, 0, okay? Like the one pictured here, the center of the circle is at the origin. The radius is always, denoted as r, and obviously the radius is the distance from the center to the circle, whether it's horizontally to the right, horizontally to the left, vertically up or vertically down, or even diagonally to it. Remember that all the radiuses or radii are equidistant from the center. And the equation for a circle at the origin is going to be x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So on the next slide, it says write an equation of the circle shown. So let's think about it. First of all, the center of the circle is at 0. We know the equation is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. And so really for the equation of a circle, the only thing where the center is at 0, the only thing we really need to fill in is the radius. Okay, the x and the y can stay x and y. So in this particular circle, we notice that it is 5 units from the center to the circle. So the radius is 5. So the equation of this circle is x squared plus y squared equals 5 squared. And the proper way to write it is with the radius squared, so the 25. So this is the equation of this particular circle. So again, let's say it says write the equation of a circle with the given center and radius. So again, the center, notice all these centers are at the origin. So we're going to be doing x squared plus y squared equals r squared. In this case, r is 4. So this equation is x squared plus y squared equals 16. When I get to the next one, it's x squared plus y squared equals square root of 5 squared. X squared plus y squared, and the square root of 5 squared is 5. So this is the equation for the second one. And the third one is x squared plus y squared equals 4 radical 3 squared. X squared plus y squared equals 4 times 4 is 16. And square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. And so I know that when I do the math, it's going to be x squared plus y squared equals 48. So what happens if the center is not at the origin, if it's not 0, 0? Well, we identify the center as the variables h and k. H is the x value and k is the y value of it. So the radius is going to be found by this formula here, okay? And the equation is going to be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And so notice that really this is the basic equation. Instead of just x squared plus y squared equaling r squared, they're just changing x for x minus h because it's shifted, and they're changing y to y minus k because it's also shifted. So again, it's the k shifts it up and down, the h shifts it left and right. Very similar to what you did back when you were shifting quadratic equations in Algebra 1. So in this particular problem, well, let's get to a problem. It says write the standard equation of a circle with the given center. So again, we know that h is 1 and k is 2. So we know that the equation is going to be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And so we've got here, again, x minus 1 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 16. And that's the answer that they're looking for. And that's it. So when we come to the next one, it's going to be x minus negative 3 squared plus y minus 5 squared equals the square root of 5 squared. So minus minus is going to be x plus 3 squared. So y minus 5 squared equals 5. And that's the answer. That is the equation of that circle. How do I get rid of this? Close. Sorry about that. And then the last one we've got here, x minus 0 squared plus y minus negative 2 squared equals 4 radical 3 squared. So this is just going to be x squared. This is going to be y plus 2 squared. And this is going to be, again, 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times 3 is 48. And so that's the equation of this circle. So again, it's just a matter of knowing the formula, plugging it in, and just doing the math. So write an equation of the circle shown. So again, the first thing I'm going to try to identify when I see these is I'm going to look for the h, the k, and of course I need the radius. So I notice that all my units are going up or to the left by ones, which is really important that I take note of that to start. So I know my radius is 1 unit, and I know that my center is at 4, 1, which means my h is 4 and my k is 1. Now that I know what all these values are, now I can plug them in and find the equation. So it's going to be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And so again, really everything's going to stay the same here. And the only thing that's going to change is I'm just changing the r squared to just 1. And so this is the equation of this circle. I go to the next one. And again, I got to try to figure out what is the radius first. First, I'm going to look at the units of measure. Every mark is worth 1 point. So I know that my radius is 3 units long. So r is 3. My h is negative 5. And my k equals 3, because that's the center of my circle. So it's going to be x minus negative 5 squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So x plus 5 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 9. And so there I have the equation of the circle that is shown. So now, what if they ask me to graph it themselves, right? So again, I'm going to look at A, for example, and I'm going to identify the key parts. So remember that it's x minus h, so that means that h is positive 3. It's y minus k, so k must be negative 1. It's kind of, because it's a minus, y minus this and x minus that, it's going to end up being the opposite of kind of like what you see there, right? And then notice that this is r squared, so that means that r must be 2. So when it comes time to graph it, I go to 3, negative 1, because I know that's my center. And I know my radius is 2, so I'll go up 2, I'll go to the right 2, I'll go down 2, and I'll go to the left 2. And I think that'll be enough for me to draw a pretty decent circle. And that's it. That's how I do it. So we'll go to the next one and we'll do the same thing. So we've got h is negative 2. K is going to be 0. Notice there's not adding or subtracting anything. And r is going to be 2 again. So the radius is 2 units. And so again, when I come to draw B over here, this was A, right? When I come to draw B, I know that my center is at negative 2, 0. So my center is here, and my radius is 2. So up 2, to the right 2, to the left 2, and down 2. And I pretty much have what I need to do, my radius is 2, to do my circle. And that's it. And last one, it says, find the equation of a circle with the following information. So the center is at -1, 3, and a point on the circle is -5, 6. So if I wanted an equation, I know that my h is -1 and my k is 3. So I kind of already know that it's going to be x plus 1 squared plus y minus 3 squared. But what's missing here is I need my r. I don't know what my r is. I do, however, know that a point on the circle is -5, 6. So what that means is if I can figure out the distance from the center to the point on the circle, I'm going to be able to find what my r is. So again, I'm going to come over to here and I'm going to try to figure out if I've got this center here. This is the center. This is a point, -5, 6. How can I find the distance? Well, if you remember from a long time ago, you were able to identify the distance between two parts as the square root of, if you remember, and it was the difference of the x's. So -1 minus -5, the difference of the x's squared, plus the difference of the y's squared. So the distance is, again, plus. So I've got 4 squared plus -3 squared. So that's going to be 16 plus 9, or 25. So the distance is 5. So the distance between the center and a point on the circle is 5 units. That means my radius is 5 as well. So now that I know my radius is 5, then I can finish the last piece of this problem, which is to identify here the radius squared. 5 squared, or 25. And so this is the correct equation for a circle that has a center of 0, or a center of -1, 3, and has a point on the circle that is -5, 6. So again, you use the h and k to create the equation. You use the distance formula to try to identify the distance between the center and the side, which is also known as the radius.